Peter Valley, FBAmaster.com here. There's kind of two titles we can give this video. Number one is the top 5 buying strategy mistakes Amazon sellers make when it comes to purchasing inventory. Or we could just call this how to never lose money on Amazon, which is kind of like functionally what this video is about. So this video is for you if you've ever, been outsourcing inventory, you come home and you're like, why did I buy this? Or this video is for you if you actually sell inventory, and once it sells, you're like, oh, I actually lost money on this, or the price sold for way less than what I anticipated. All of these are caused by buying strategy mistakes. We don't really look at this as a skill. We don't look at buying strategy as a skill. We just think, oh, I just buy low and sell high. It's really, really simple. And so we tend to blame other things. We blame our inventory sources. We blame the Amazon business itself. We blame a lot of things. We don't really blame our purchasing decisions. So I'm going to tell you how to make intelligent and give you a framework to make intelligent purchasing decisions. Let's get into it. Here's what we're going to cover. Why it's impossible to lose money if you actually dial in your buying formula. That's exactly what we're covering in this video. And then number 2, the 3 ingredients of every buying decision. I can go through this very, very quickly. And number 3, the top 5 buying strategy mistakes that will basically make it impossible for you to lose money on Amazon. Okay, so I learned this, what's on this slide right now, what's on the screen here, this line I'm about to read to you is one of the more profound things I've ever been taught in my Amazon selling business. And I want to credit a gentleman named Chris Green, who runs a tool called Scan Power and has just been around for a while in the Amazon selling world. He probably got this from somewhere else, to be fair, but on his podcast a million years ago, it was like 2011 or something, I heard him say, you make your money when you buy. You make your money when you buy. It took me a little bit for that to click, and I was like, oh, I get it now. In other words, I eliminate all my risks at the point of purchase, not when something sells. In other words, if you make an intelligent buying decision, it's very difficult to actually lose money. So I want to pass this wisdom on to you right now, really let you take it in because it's really, really important. So when you dial in your buying strategy, again, it's almost impossible to lose money. Now, here's the 3 ingredients of every buying decision. This is not hard, okay? All you're doing when you're trying to decide whether you're going to purchase something, acquire it, to sell on Amazon is number 1, what is the demand for this item? Okay, what is the Amazon sales rank? Number 2, what is it selling for now, or what can I realistically sell it for in the future based on the data, okay? And number 3, am I allowed to sell it? Are you restricted or not? That's it. Those are the only 3 ingredients when you're deciding whether to purchase something. So it's seemingly very simple, but somehow a lot of us do make mistakes, and I've certainly made a lot of them. Okay, so you ready for the top 5 buying decision mistakes? Well, we have to get this business out of the way first. My name is Peter Valley. I've been selling Amazon for about 15 years. I did the website FBAmaster.com. True story, the first time I ever sourced books to resell was at a thrift store. I found a dumpster full of books. I climbed in. Thrift store employees caught me, slammed the lid shut, locked me inside, and called the police. True story. I actually did not get arrested, but the cops did arrive. Also, I have to mention, you can build a whole business off of what I give away for free at FBAmastery.com, including with one link, I'll give you over 500 pages of free material, sales rank guides, how to find good inventory. It's a free source of inventory, all the stuff you see here, FBAmaster.com. I'll put a link below this video. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you don't, I will come to your house and rearrange your furniture. I swear to God, I will do it in the most inconvenient way possible. So just avoid that and subscribe to the YouTube channel immediately. And lastly, you can read a much more, I think a slightly more in-depth version of this video, an article form at FBAmastery.com. Put the link below this video as well. Okay, buying mistake number 1, are you ready, is not knowing your numbers. Now, in a sense, this is kind of multiple mistakes. I kind of sort of consolidated into one, but this comes into a couple different parts. Number 1, not knowing what your approximate Amazon payout will be at different price points. So in other words, I sell books. I know that generally speaking, usually I can expect to get a minimum of a $3 payout when I list a book for $12. So usually I'm only looking for books I can sell for $12 or more, okay? That's very, very simple. Now, of course, as the weight for the book goes up, that can change, and you might be selling a different product category, but just sort of understanding, generally speaking, what your payout will be at a few different key price points. Not memorizing anything elaborate here, not memorizing every Amazon fee based on the weight, and you carry a scale into every sort, not like that. I'm just saying, just generally. Now, number 2, not having personal rules about the margins that you need to see. In other words, you're just inventing numbers every time you go out. You're like, $2 payout, that sounds good today. And then on Wednesday, you're like, I need a $4 payout. Having firm rules and sticking to them. And number 3, forgive the typo here, not understanding what sales rank says about an item's demand. Okay, that's it. Those are the numbers you need to know. How do you understand payouts? Your scanning app will tell you. Okay, so that's the first part. Very easy. We can resolve that very, very easily. You got an app like Scoutly. It will tell you, it will calculate your profits based on different price points. You click the different prices, you get the different payouts. Really, really simple. Okay, there's no need for mystery here. Or if you don't have an app, you can use the Amazon Revenue Calculator. Just Google that text, Amazon Revenue Calculator, and the first result will be something we can just run different products through and get in different price points to get an idea about what your actual payout will be. Okay, really, really simple. Like, this is so simple, it's actually insane. Okay, so number 2, how to choose minimum profit standards. And what we mean by this is, what is the minimum payout you will accept for every single item? And then the second part of this is your minimum ROI. Don't worry if you don't understand fancy acronyms. Return on investment. It just means, what is the multiple of what you invest that you need to get back? So for me, it's 3x. If I invest $1, I need to get $3 back. If I invest $2, I need to get $6 back. That's my ROI standard. Okay, my minimum payout, by the way, I skipped that, is $3. Okay, that's me. So I just gave you really simple. If you want to copy my numbers, by all means, that's worked for me. So go for it. So okay, I just solved that for you. Okay, 3x, $3 payout, 3x ROI. Really simple, okay? Next up, the last part of knowing your numbers is understanding Amazon sales rank. As I mentioned, I have a free guide to this. It's not some upsell of some course. It's literally free. I only made it because I get this question so much. I'm too lazy to answer it individually every time. So I just like, here, go read this thing. It's called Understanding Amazon Sales Rank for books specifically. So it is only for booksellers, but it's instant download. You can click the link below this video to download that. Okay, buying mistake number 2 is not factoring Amazon sales rank into your buying decisions. Now, the reason this is important is twofold. Number 1, sales rank is going to impact the minimum payout of profit you will need to see before you list an item. In other words, if I'm listing an item that has a sales rank of 5 million, I need like at least a $20 payout, like probably even more, okay? Whereas if the item's ranked 10,000, I just need a $3 payout. Okay, so you should have similar rules around. It doesn't have to be exact. You don't have to memorize a bunch of numbers, but just like roughly, you need to understand how sales rank factors into your risk, and you need to be compensated for that risk in terms of your payout. Okay, so that's really important. Number 2, sales rank impacts whether you invest in something at all. Okay, I always tell newer sellers, if you're new and you don't understand, like you're brand new, don't invest in anything, any books at least, with a sales rank worse than 1.5 million. The reason is you need to get a quick inventory turnover. You're just getting started. You need to like free up your money. You don't want books sitting around forever. You want like quick turnover, blah, 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 right? And then those standards are going to get more relaxed as you get more experience. And actually for me right now, there's no sales rank I will not invest in. But that's because I have experience. I can afford to sit on inventory for a long time. I can tell a book that's ranked 10 million, like whether it's going to sell or never going to sell. Like I have that ability, right? But you always want to factor sales rank into your purchasing decisions, period, no matter what. So if you're not doing that, if you're buying inventory right now without any regard for sales rank, or you're only looking at sales rank like once you get home to list it for sale or something, massive, massive mistake, okay? Okay, buying mistake number 3 is not reviewing the price history of low demand items. Now, I will not say this is a huge, huge mistake. In other words, you could actually make this mistake and do fine. But it is something you should evolve to avoiding at some point. Okay, so if you're newer and you're like, oh, I'm already overwhelmed, just skip this one. Okay, and you shouldn't be buying really low demand inventory anyway if you're really new. But here's why: low demand inventory is totally different than high demand inventory. Okay, in the sense that the current lowest price, in other words, what it's listed for right now, may not reflect what it's actually selling for historically. So you've got an item, let's just say it's ranked 4 million, and the current lowest price is $50. You're like, heck yes. You are high-fiving God. You're like, yeah, I got a $50 book. Well, maybe you do, maybe you don't, because when the sales rank is so poor, that current price may not reflect the actual selling price. So for that, you need to go into the Keepa charts and actually look, okay, what is this historically? What is this item been listed for? And remember, Keepa doesn't tell you what items are sold for. That's a big myth, by the way. People think Keepa tells you what items are sold for. Absolutely not. You do not get that data at all. What it does tell you is what it's been listed for historically. And if you could see, well, the rank, you can see when the rank drops, okay, well, that means it's sold at this price. You can roughly get a sense as to like, okay, customers, Amazon buyers are willing to pay this amount for this item. And it may be a number that is dramatically less than what it's currently listed for. Here's the thing. I am not saying that I actually do this every single time. I don't. I literally don't. Oftentimes I'm just looking at a book and I'm like, okay, the lowest price is $50. Yeah, the rank's 5 million. And you know what? I'm looking at the cover and I'm looking at the subject matter and I'm like, I think this will sell. And I just throw it in my basket and I move on, right? So I'm not saying I do this for every single item, but particularly when you're newer, you should be, okay? Because you don't have that ability to you don't have that eye for value evolved quite yet, okay? So again, if you got an item that's, when I say low demand, we'll just say, 3 million or beyond, maybe even 2 million. We'll say 2.5, 3 million and beyond. Until you get really, really good at this, you should be looking up, and actually even beyond. In fact, I make mistakes. Like, I actually do. And because I'm too lazy to do this. I'm kind of telling you I'm telling you to do something I don't actually always practice myself. But if you want to be really, really thorough about not making bad purchasing decisions, you will look up the sales rank history and the price history, rather, I should say, for every single low demand item. Okay. Buying mistake number 4 is not ignoring lowball sellers when you go to purchase inventory, but also not ignoring them too much. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time in this because I actually think this one is probably the least important of the 5. So what I mean by this is, for higher demand items, you can often ignore the lowest price. So you've got an item and it's like, lowest price is $10 and the second lowest is like 15, and maybe you would buy it at 15, but you wouldn't buy it at 10. Well, if the demand's really good, guess what? That lowest price, that $10 offer is going to sell out and you'll be next in line. Okay. So that's kind of have to look at, like, ignoring lowball offers, particularly with high demand items. And these price gaps can move an item from like a maybe or a no when it comes to purchasing to like a heck yes. So if you're not paying attention to what the second and third lowest offer is, and you're only focusing on the lowest offer, and so in other words, if you're not frequently ignoring lowball sellers in your purchasing decision, that's a mistake. But you don't want to ignore them too much either. In other words, you don't want to be taking a book that's ranked like 3 million and being like, oh, I'm going to position it third, and then I'll get a profitable sale. Well, no, you don't want to do that either, right? And this is kind of getting outside the scope of this video, so I'm not going to give you a whole tutorial. But and while this is important, I would not say this is a major one. So if you're kind of confused right now, don't worry about it. I have separate videos and articles about pricing strategy and like when you should ignore lowball sellers and when you shouldn't. So you can go ahead and watch or read those. Okay, last buying mistake. This is the easiest, most obvious one of all, right? Not confirming you can actually sell something. So if you got an app, your app will tell you if you're allowed to sell. If you have a good app, your app will tell you if you're allowed. In other words, if Amazon restricts you from selling that product. Really, really simple. Just confirm before you purchase something you're actually allowed to sell it. Okay, you guys, we're not done yet. Okay, the climax, I would argue, maybe is yet to come. The takeaway here is that you're never going to get 100% right. I want to be clear about that. There's no such thing as every single item that you invest in turning you a significant profit. Okay, everyone makes mistakes. I still make mistakes. You're going to never get 100% right. But having an airtight buying formula means you will never lose money overall. You might lose money on individual items now and then. You're never going to lose money overall. So that is the peace of mind that a good buying strategy will give you, and avoiding these mistakes will give you. Okay, you guys now have a 4-part mission. Are you ready? Mission number 1, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the button below. Do it immediately. Mission number 2, as I said, you can build a whole business off of what I give away for free at FBAmastery.com. Hit the link below. Get everything you see here, over 500 pages of free stuff. Mission number 3, once you get momentum, if you're actually at the place where you're actually selling inventory, you must have a repricing tool. I built the best one. It's the only repricer with no blind spots, and the only repricer that raises your prices more than any other repricer. It's called NeuroPrice. 14-day free trial, neuroprice.io. Link below this video. And lastly, mission number 4, take what you learned in this video and actually apply it. Don't just watch the video and move on to some other video. Actually apply. Write this stuff down, apply it to your business, and in turn, that will translate into extra profits for your business. Thank you guys so much. This is Peter Valley signing off, and I'll see you in the next video.